Everyone have at least one friendship, one person that they tell their experiences to. They see. Hey guys, so today we're doing a follow-up video to the video that I did. If you have not seen it, I'm referring to the friendship turn off video, or what we could call the deal breakers in friendships. So everyone have at least one friendship, one person that they tell their experiences to, they seek advice from, they go on trips with. You know, that one person that you can be in a crowd with and you both make eye contact and completely understand what the other person is saying. You know, through good times and bad times, that particular friend is there. They're more than just a friend. They are family. What I'm referring to is a healthy friendship, but unfortunately, not many of us have this experience. Or it's a case where when we do have a good friend, for some reason or another, it turns sour. Just recently on Instagram, I'll be inserting the clip, so do check that out. Took his vehicle and basically went on a joy ride with a female. And when after all that had happened with the vehicle, what was said by the female counterpart of the friend is that at least they are alive. And sure enough, yes, we have to be grateful for life, but it's the principle, the principle of things. So some persons may have had similar experience as to this young man, or you have had different experience. So I asked persons to share their stories of at least one instance where a friend, yes, a friend displayed in a situation specific turn off. We're going to be sharing 5 stories that I got. I want to shout out these persons who shared. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for being as vulnerable and open as possible. All right, let's get right into it. So, disclaimer, I won't be giving the name of the person. So, any name you hear is a fictitious name that I made up or a name I just attached, just to ensure, the identity of the person is maintained. So the first story I'll be reading from my notebook. The first story. This is from Toya. I shared with a friend something I was experiencing, and she told her boyfriend. One day, the boyfriend and I was talking, and he mentioned it. I acted like I didn't hear him. I told myself from then that I'd be careful of the thing I share with her and kind of distance myself. To be honest, girl, I don't wrong you one bit. I don't wrong you one bit. And it's really unfortunate that in that instance, your friends failed you. Story number 2. There is this work friend that loves to tell unnecessary lies. Another coworker of ours gave her 2 cups, split between the 2 of us. The cups were 2 different styles, and I expressed my preference as to the one I wanted. Anyway, she gave me the one she wanted. I didn't make a fuss. She expressed that that particular one I wanted wasn't given to her. It was a different color. One day she asked me to go in her desk at work. I don't know if she didn't remember that she had the cup in that desk, but I went in for whatever she asked me for, and lo and behold, there was the cup right there. You know, I took a picture of it as evidence because, should in defense it become necessary one day I can remind her. But there and then, I just smiled to myself and said that simple lie was very much unnecessary. So, you know what I did? I just marked her action and I just interact with her as though nothing happened. So even up until today, she don't know that I know she was lying. And I just maintain the friendship knowing that we are more acquaintance than friends. Wow. Unnecessary lie. We're really out here doing the unnecessary, right? Simple thing, but we have to cover it with a lie, unfortunately. Story number three. This one is from Angela. I was new at the job and she was warm and friendly. We were both friends. We were both, sorry, from the Caribbean, but different countries. So we clicked naturally, a little bit easier than others because we're in a foreign land. Anyways, our friendship grew and we bonded over being Caribbean people and had a pretty good interaction. She would share things about her background, and I felt my role was still listen and give my advice as necessary. Eventually, I noticed more often she would discuss others at work in a sense of bringing them down. I'm not a female that's big on bonding or constantly gossiping, and for this to be a basis of our friendship, it reached a point where she started distancing herself from me. I wasn't quite sure as to why, but I had an idea that what she expected my reactions to be when she shared these stories wasn't the case. Also, one day she mentioned that she was telling me things and I wasn't telling her or sharing on the same topic. I then explained to her that personally I have overcome whatever it is that she shared, so I didn't feel the need to share that. Mark you, I would share things I guess they weren't so personal enough for her, or she couldn't identify where I was having a hard enough time, so she withdrew herself. Despite this, I continued being a friend to her because I honestly felt she was a good person but had things to work on. It had gotten to the point where we spent less time together because what she wanted to talk about, which was gossip, was not what I wanted to talk about. He showed some sign of toxicity, which I didn't need, so I was okay in letting that friendship go. Ah, wow. Sometimes, to be honest, we have to be okay letting people go. Sometimes it might be uncomfortable or we might, feel some type of way, but we have to be okay letting people go who are not what we want or aligning with whatever it is that we are aiming towards. Story number four, this is Jojo. I have a best friend and we have known each other all our lives, right? Since we were 14, now we are 40 years old. Naturally, we would share everything because we're best friends, right? From when we were younger. We are both Christians and not perfect, but whenever I would share things that I would have done, I am being judged or given a judgmental eye. Mark you, this person is also guilty of said sin, right? So at times she would make comments like, we're not supposed to do that, or she go on to create the narrative as though I am more of a sinner than her. I noticed this and just stopped sharing the intricate details of my life, regardless of how much she would ask. So after a while, she kept asking and asking, and I was like, everything is good. That is good. And she would be like, just good like that? And I'll be like, yes, everything is good. Because I realized that I am being judged. And although she is being judgmental in that sense, our friendship is so good. And it's just that one area that I have an issue with. So I decided I will withhold information about myself regarding that, just for the benefit of this friendship instead of throwing the friendship altogether away. Right. So I just created boundaries for my own freedom. Um, that is it. We have to create boundaries, you know, and you hit the nail on the head. Your boundaries basically ensure your peace of mind. You have to create boundaries in anything that you're doing, and more so friendship, because persons will want to do, and it's so interesting. It's your best friend that you guys both relate stories, and when it comes to you relating, it's almost as if she's seemingly saying to you that you're more of a sinner than her. So that is quite interesting. But I'm happy though that despite that one area, because you said your friendship is pretty solid aside from that judgmental eye or judgmental thing that you say and you realize so you stopped sharing. And you know what I've realized in these stories, which I appreciate again you guys sharing, is that it's very important to set boundaries. Also, it's very important to assess and evaluate your friendship. Know what friend is for what. And by friendship, some people use the term to say more associates or friends than friends. Not sure if I'm making sense. But you know, some people are real friends while some are just your associates. So the essence of what I'm saying is that you have to assess and evaluate well what your friendship is. Because if it's not somebody that you can seemingly talk personal things about, but you can talk about business idea and get good advice, you have to know what to say to what friend. That's a very now on to our very last story, and that's story number 5. So this person said, back in university days, I used to use this website to find overseas men to date. Right? I had a friend of mine, she was pretty much interested to know, what sites I use. So of course I shared the sites with her soon after she started using. So there was this particular guy that I was dating overseas. He was pretty kind and nice, and he would help me with my utilities and whatever expenses that I had in university. Of course, being my good friend, I shared, right? This guy is doing all of this. So one day now, out of the blue, because remember I introduced her to the site and she started using it. So out of the blue, she was like, I texted the guy because I think I shared the guy's name with her. So she's like, she texted the guy. So I was like, all right, cool. Anyways, long story short, there was another person that had came in the picture that I met and I was seeing because of course I wasn't, the guy and I, the first foreign guy and I wasn't exclusive, you know, but we were talking and he was helping me. The second guy was also a foreign guy and she also knew about it. I noticed though the first guy stopped calling as frequent and stopped talking as frequent. Um and in hindsight I believe that particular friend said something to me. Why I said that? I would have had other experience with other guys too that she went behind my back and she spoke to them. So I realized that seemingly she's secretly either jealous of me or she just wants to sabotage on my relationship. In the moment, I didn't realize that was happening, but sometime after I realized that this is a pattern of hers and seemingly this was what she was doing. So what I did, I eventually stopped sharing things that I would do, persons I would date, I stopped sharing. And eventually I just let the friendship away. This story, story number 5, like hmm, the reality is the theme that is coming out of this is that not everything you are to share, and I just mentioned you should know what friend you can say what. Evidence is she was either jealous of you or the fact that these guys you were meeting nice guys and they were assisting you. Probably in her head it was coming too easy for you, or whatever the case is. And guys, in general, just be careful with people with whom you share. So, like I said, evaluate well the friendship and see what makes sense. We are all big people, or if you're not yet big people, you're becoming young adults, or you are young adults, so you need to be very careful of friendships because, in the end, guys, friendship can either break you or they can make you, right? You need to be intentional about your friendships, right? It has to be purposeful, not being transactional, but purposeful. So, in essence, you have to know where you stand with persons and act accordingly. Now, guys, we have come to the end of the video, and I hope you enjoy these 5 stories that I was able to share with you. If videos like these interest you, just keep on watching, and of course, Say in the comment section, give me your story in the comment section. I do wish to see those so I can interact with you. Stay tuned for other videos now. Bye.